Today we have another video brought to you by you, the viewer, and that is the review of the Owner's Pride Eco Wash, rinseless wash. We can dilute this 1 to 256 all the way up to 1 to 512, okay? And I was told don't go over 1 to 256, or not over, but like don't do 1 to 128 because you can start having some problems with film being left on the car. But anyway, and I apologize in advance, okay, for the noise that's going on in my testing video. Well, I'm sorry. Turn your radio down, whatever it is, or just skip to the end. Now, anyway, and also, guys, I bought this with my own money, and well, that's about it. Nobody, oh, you know what? Here, I don't have an affiliate form. I don't have a discount code, but I did buy mine at a discount because if you go to their website, I think I signed up for their email list, and then I wound up getting a coupon sent to me for like 10 or 15% off, and that covered part of the shipping. All right, guys, now I'm going to ask you to indulge me for a second when I talk about customer service for, just a couple minutes here. If you don't want to hear me drone on about customer service, just go ahead. I got time codes below. Just skip to the testing part or even, my score sheet. So I think we would all agree that, like, especially me, okay? I don't know about all of us, but for me anyway, I would rather pay either a little bit more for a company to buy from a company with like superior customer service than I would from a company with like really crap customer service. Let's just say that, okay? And I think I would be more than willing to accept slightly lesser quality from a product that from a company that gives me superior customer service than one that has a higher quality product, but like you can't get a hold of them, you can't email them, you can't get answers. They don't ship on time. It takes them a week to get it out the door, things like that. I placed my order on a Monday. I think it was about noon, 1 o'clock, okay? By 4 or 5, I had a tracking number. So that evening, Monday night, I got an email saying, hey, if you have any questions, just reply to this email and, we'll try our best to answer questions. So on Wednesday, the products came. I sat down at lunchtime. I opened up the box, pulled out my Eco Wash and another product I ordered from them called Slick. And I had some questions about the Slick and even some about this because I'm like, hey, are there any off-label uses, things like that. So I just pulled up that email. I clicked reply. Literally within minutes, my phone was ringing. And I answer it, and it is a person named Jimmy from Owner's Pride. I wound up spending 15 minutes on the phone with Jimmy, maybe a little bit more even. I went over like all their different products, how to become a certified installer, like you name it. I went over stuff with him, and then I stumped him with a question because I saw some glass coating on the website, and in there it said that it makes their coating makes the glass stronger, and he didn't have an answer for like how that's possible. So I hung up with him. And the next thing I know, like literally 2 minutes later, maybe even 1 minute later, okay, my phone is ringing again, but from a different number. And I answer it, and it is somebody, Damon Gray, who I think he said is either the owner or one of the owners at Owner's Pride. And he said, hey, Jimmy just called and said, hey, this guy's got questions and I don't know the answer. You might want to call him back. So I spent another half hour on the phone with Damon. I really don't care how good or bad this is that's going to turn out in the video. That's for you to watch. But what I do want to say is that this company has made me want to like try their other products, okay? But anyway, I spent a half hour on the phone with Damon Gray. And then when we got off the phone, so he described everything to me. We got off the phone, he sent me a text message and he's like, let me know if you got any other questions. I can answer them for you, whatever it is. I just want to say thank you to Jimmy and Damon for the outstanding customer service. And I just want to say, like, if you're looking for a product line that supplies like at least great customer service where you could send an email, pick up the phone, get some answers, okay? Definitely check out Owner's Pride. Jimmy and Damon, I just want to say thank you for having such outstanding customer service. So anyway, guys, I just had to get that off my chest. And in fact, I would love to do a collaboration with maybe a couple other, YouTube reviewers. If that's something that you guys would like to see, maybe in your response below or just as your own response, just hit hashtag customer service video or something like that. Just let me know if that's something that you'd like to see. And again, I apologize for the quality of the audio coming up. There was somebody mowing the lawn across the street. I did not realize that the mic would pick up as much noise as it did. But anyway, guys, thanks for indulging me. Let's get to the video. The dilution on the website is 1 to 4 gallons, or 1 ounce per 4 gallons. So that's like 1 to 512, okay? And so we have our 1 ounce, 4 gallons. Now we can dilute it 1 to 256, so we're gonna test it with that. In fact, I'll go over a little bit more. Okay, so it does foam. In fact, I'm going to show you some foam cannon testing too. So I have a feeling when I dump it into my bucket here, I'm going to get a lot of foam. But, you know, if it works really good and it doesn't like leave streaks all over the surface from the towel, you know, I'm okay with that. All right, so that's just from pushing in the bucket or filling the bucket. It's actually not too bad with the foam. But let's spray on. Again, this is 1 to 512. Super dirty. And we see actually there's some pretty good wetting going on. It's not beating as much as other products out there. This is a ceramic coating. So this has some pretty good wetting. So at the belt line here, you can see how it's just, there's no hydrophobic effects, let's put it that way. All right, let's just take our microfiber. Oh, this is actually pretty good. At 1 to 512, this is actually pretty darn slick on the, oh, there we go. Wait a minute. When we hit that road film, it got a little grabbier. Yeah, it's definitely grabbier in the road film, that's for sure. And yeah, we got lots of dirt on there now. So let's dunk. All right, so let's see. No, we still have, just with that dunk, I'd say half the dirt probably got off of here. Not sure how it looks on camera there. I'm trying to look at the screen. So we'll do our swish. Apologies for the lawnmowers. So with our swish, all right, at 1 to 512 with the swish, almost all the dirt came off. I still see some shadows. You can probably see up in the upper left there, and even kind of like in the middle where my thumb is. So let's scrub on the grit guard. All right, so let me unfold this. There's one side of the towel. We're in the shade, that's why this all looks really weird. I don't see anything on that side. We'll flip it over. And I don't see anything remaining on this side. So even at 1 to 512, it comes clean with the grit guard scrub. All right, so it's okay on the towel at that dilution ratio. It's not great, but it's also, it's not grabby. I'm not folding the towel under. This time I have a 1 to 256 dilution in the bucket. We have a nice dry, clean microfiber, so we're not reusing the one. And we have the spray. So let's see how this might break stuff down. Let's get going. Oh, and spray some on the glass. And why is it there's no wind, and then as soon as I start testing, it starts blowing back at me? Okay. So on the 1 to 512 on the clean area, in fact at 1 to 256, I'm getting the same type of wetting effect as I did. Now this is a different coating, so it's actually rejecting a little bit more, but I'm getting more wetting where it was even like less dirty. And then on the belt line again, it's like, and you could almost see there's like a little bit of foam starting to form. In fact, it foams, but the foam kind of breaks down relatively quick in the bucket. When I poured it out, there was like a big pile of foam in here, so it does break down. And let's get this flat on here. Okay, so again, on the clean area, this is gliding across, super smooth. All right. And I feel like I'm hitting that road grime right there. And I could feel a definite difference in the feel. It's getting me in the feels. And oh my God, okay, so this is dirtier than most any other test I've done. This is way dirtier than any other test I've done. There was a lot of dirt on that. All right, well, let's see if we just do a dunk. And oh wow. So a lot of it came off. I mean, you could see it's still stained though. A lot of it came off. Let's swish. Oh yeah, this is not bad. Okay, so I definitely like this at 1 to 256 better than 1 to 512. I still have the dirt right there, and then also right there. So I'm gonna do the grit guard scrub. Let's see how that turns out. It's rolling away on me. All right, so with the grit guard scrub there, it is clean, and now we will try this area. And that came clean as well. So that was really dirty, guys. I'm not sure, like, it did come clean with the grit guard scrub. And it's gonna get scored on that, but really, like, this is some of the dirtiest I've ever tested with. I mean, even when there's salt on the car, like, it's a lot of times not even that dirty. In fact, let me do this. Let me just get a swipe. Oh wow, just a quick swipe at 12 inches, like, and it's almost gone. Okay, so I'm gonna give this is at 1 to 256. This is gonna get it comes clean with swish. I want you to watch this. I'm just gonna get this little bit right here. All right, look how dirty that is. And if I swish it around, like, there's a little shadow left there, but the rest of it's clean. Let me try and get one other spot. Let's see, right here. Damn, look how dirty that is. Not bad at all. Little tiny spot there. So I'm gonna say this works good with the swish. It's gonna clean with the swish. Yeah, like this on clean is great. On dirty though, like, oh, that, you know what? That's way better. Okay. So with the microfiber, and I'm sorry about the noise. With the microfiber, you could definitely tell a difference in the feel on that road film versus the non-road film, but on the sponge it's almost completely unnoticeable. And I like this a lot better with the sponge at 1 to 256. All right, so we got our drying towel that we test with, and it's actually going across the surface pretty good. All right, let me see how quick it dried. All right, I don't feel any water left behind at all. So that dries instantly. That was the dry side of the towel. And that instantly dried, so I am happy with that. All right, guys, the back of the car is uncoated, but I have a lot of like mud from driving yesterday, so let's see how this breaks down. All right, instantly emulsifies that. All right, I'm happy with that. So there is a definite, you can definitely feel a difference where it was really dirty, but it actually over here where I rinsed it all away, it's gliding across. So where it was really dirty, it's gliding across, no problem. And if I flip and where I've already done, yeah, it's just super slick. Happy with that. So on an uncoated surface, you could see the wetting. There's no beading whatsoever. There you go. No beading. And if I grab our sponge, yeah, this is actually pretty slick. I'm barely like, it's at, yeah, this is at 1 to 256. On a mostly clean surface, whether it's coated or uncoated, this has a really good feeling, an even better smell. Absolutely love this. But on that road film, it did become grabby. So we'll have to score it like that. All right, sorry again. Before the glass test, I just want to show you, I'm going across the surface on the uncoated paint, and it is very grabby with the microfiber. So as much as I like the microfiber, it felt good on a coated surface. On just bare paint, I don't like this at all. All right, guys, so we have the glass test. This is the 1 to 512 solution, 1 ounce per 4 gallons. So if I rub my finger, okay, it's not sticky. So let's hope this comes off. You can see it starting to like smear when I'm doing that. Oh, this glass was dirty. I didn't even clean it before I sprayed it on there. But it's actually wiping all off. All right. All right, so at 1 to 512, no problem. Let's see. It feels like I can feel like the little dots that had dried though. Yeah, I almost feel like those little dried dots. Let me grab the damp towel. All right, I got the damp towel. Let me go over this. You can see the streaks. It's damp. And then we'll dry it with this. Okay, now those dots. Okay, so at 1 to 512, it didn't clean off the glass as easy as I would hoped. Let's see the 1 to 256. Now I made sure I actually did clean this window before I sprayed it on there. So let's see. Okay, so 1 to 256, I don't feel those like dots, the dried polymer or dried whatever is in that rinseless. I don't feel that on my finger, so. Okay guys, we are back with our Eco Wash, Owner's Pride Eco Wash. Let's see how this stuff foams. I was told that it foams 1 ounce per foam cannon, so I mixed up half a foam can, I used half an ounce. Let's see how this works. Foam cannon, let's see. Okay, so this, I don't even know if I would call this foam. It's more like carbonation. Like you can see how watery it is. It's just running off. So I'm not sure I would use this or foam it like this. So let me double the concentration. Let's see how it works. I'm going to rinse this off, dry it really quick, and then we'll be right back. Okay guys, so I mixed up a new batch. This has the equivalent of 2 ounces per foam cannon, so I mixed 16 ounces. 16 ounces with 1 ounce, so actually it's more like 15 ounces. But anyway, let's see how this stuff foams. Okay, so we definitely have some better foam. So at 1 ounce, it kind of looks like this. This is like watery. This is more like carbonated foam. But the longer I put it on, we're definitely getting a thicker foam. So I would say with this stuff, 2 to 3 ounces per foam can, and you're going to get some really nice foam. You can see how it's dripping down. All right, it's much thicker. Okay, everyone, so our rinseless wash score sheet. Now, I did score the 1 to 256 and 1 through 1 to 512 differently, but on the cost score sheet, okay, it just breaks down. You buy it by the bottle, so at the 16-ounce bottle's $22.99. That earns a score of 3 on my worksheet. $100 a gallon. That's pretty darn expensive. That earns a 0 because it is more than 75 bucks a gallon. Gives us a total score of 1.5 on the average score for the cost. Dilution ratio, all right, is actually it's right here. Let me turn that yellow. There we go. Dilution ratio of 3. All right, so up to 1 ounce per 4 gallons. That gives us a 3. So that's what it's going to get for everything. Okay, scent. The scent in this is completely awesome. In fact, I love the scent. I like when you smell it, you know that you've smelled that scent before. It's like a berry scent. It is absolutely awesome, and I think you're gonna. In fact, you're gonna probably laugh when I tell you what it reminded me of coming up. But I left the sponge. In fact, I spelled sponge wrong there. So there we go. I left the sponge in the trunk. So I wrung everything out, dumped out the bucket, left the sponge in the trunk. The next morning, I opened the doors to get in the car. The entire car was EcoWash scented, even from the trunk. So easily gets a 5. I love it. Microfiber slickness. Okay, here's where we have a little bit of issue. Okay, so at the 512 to 1 dilution ratio, what I found was that on a coated surface, it was very slick where it was clean. However, all right, there was a change in feel when I hit the road film and on the uncoated area on the trunk that you saw me test. So I tested it with both 512 to 1 and 256 to 1 on that. The trunk area is not coated on the car. It was kind of grabby. I did not like it at all on the microfiber. So when I average out the 9 and the 3 there, I get a 6 for the 512 to 1. On the 256 to 1, it was marginally better on the uncoated surface. I still had that change in feel on the road film on the door where it was coated. So it averaged a 6.5, and it is what it is. So sponge slickness, all right. So at 512 to 1, and this is the same. It felt the same on both coated and uncoated. Okay, it gets a 9. Slight change in feel, very slight change in feel, very slick on coated surface. I couldn't say it's super slick. It's just very slick. I think it was better than moderately slick, so it gets a 512 to 1. I really actually on the 512 to 1, there was a slight feel in change in slickness. Now, on the 256 to 1, it gets a 12. I think you saw that on the video. No issues whatsoever. And it just, like, it plowed through it, and it really surprised me given that it really didn't seem to break it down all that well, in my opinion, but we'll get to that in a minute. Water behavior on panel. All right, so where there's road film, road grime, anything like that, it floods. In fact, the uncoated surface there, you could see it floods, has excellent wetting or flooding. I call it flooding, but basically, if you see my scoring key here, all right, if it's repelled by road film, I call that sheeting. If it floods the surface, all right, I call that wet. That's great wetting. And so on this one, we saw some water beading on the coated surface area there, but on an uncoated, just completely great wetting. So it earns a score 4 on both the 512 to 1 and 256 to 1. Okay, dissolves road grime. Unfortunately, on the 512 to 1, it gets a 3, okay, because I had to... number one, it really didn't seem to break down the road film. In fact, when I had to plow through it, basically with the microfiber, it became grabby. It did clean with the scrub, though, so it got a 3. I didn't have to, it didn't stain the media. It didn't need a washing machine wash with microfiber detergent to clean. So, but it earns a 3. Now, the 256 to 1 was significantly better. All right, so I did notice some slickness change on the microfiber. You saw that in the video, but the media did rinse easily. Okay, it came clean. In my testing, some of it needed the grit guard scrub, depending on how dirty it was. Some of the other testing, you saw me rinse with just the basically the shaking around in the water, the swishing around. So 512 to 1 earned a 3, 256 to 1 earned a 6. Now, one dunk test, okay. And this is where this is this is different than the dissolves road grime, okay. This is just how clean it comes in the bucket. On the 512 to 1, 100% clean grit guard scrub, no issues there. I did have to scrub it. On the 256 to 1, and again, this is why I mentioned the last time, okay? So you saw me swishing it, and it came clean most of the times, but on the other hand, there was a couple times that I needed to hit it on the grit guard, but if I just swished it around, rang it out, in general, on all my testing, it came clean, so it earned a 13.5. I feel that's kind of fair, okay? Towel dry feel. It feels the same, regardless of dilution. Smooth feel, slight bunching. It's just because it's... And I want to say slight bunching because on the uncoated portion of the paint, I have to average these out, guys. On uncoated, it's not very slick at all. So I would give it on coating, earned a 4. On non-coated, probably earned a 2, maybe 3. But when I average them out, you get a 3. Towel absorption, no issues whatsoever, okay? On a brand new dry towel, I went across that. It instantly dried. Didn't leave what I felt like any water behind. I didn't see any film left behind, like water film that needed a couple seconds to dry. So I earned a 5 on that one. And it was cool. I was wearing my coat that day, so it wasn't like it was overly hot. The panel wasn't hot to the sun. So that one earns a 5. Glass removal. Okay, you saw on the 512 to 1, I did mention that there was some, you could feel those, polymer spots, water spots, but I'm going to chalk that up to being dirty because I retested. Not on camera, though, but anyway. So at 512 to 1, when I retested on clean glass, it wiped clean. And then at 256 to 1, you saw that. Clean, no problem. And I made that in my notes, okay. Was determined that dirty glass was the reason behind the towel feel on the 512 to 1, okay. So no issues there. And on utility, so here's the issue, okay. Even with the polymers added, it doesn't seem to leave anything behind. There wasn't a super slick or super smooth feel on the paint behind. They do make 3 different products that you could use for some added protection as drying aid. You can foam it. You saw that. And because it doesn't really leave anything behind, I would use this on an interior even at 512 to 1, probably 512 to 1. So it earns a few points probably for the utility score. So if we go to cumulative scores, okay, 57.5 on the 512 to 1 version, 64.5 on the 256 to 1. And if I, drum roll please here, we're going to sort and filter. All right, you see that there. Column B is our total score. I hit OK, and there's our sort. So at 256 to 1, it comes in, just behind the TCR, Detail Studio TCR 256 to 1, and that's primarily the cost score right there. And the microfiber slickness. That really hurt it. It would have scored amazingly well at 256 to 1 if it would have not been so grabby in that road film on the microfiber, okay? And then if we go to 512 to 1, 57.5 points. The microfiber slickness score hurt it along with the cost score. But even then, it was behind. It's still above the RRW, the ONR V6, and the V5. So... at this point, because I'm still working on some of these, the 512 to 1, I would just consider it as being average. It's okay. If you're working on a clean car, in fact, let me just say this, guys. If you have a car that sits outside and it's sprinkled a little bit overnight and you get those water spots on the car, because it got dusty and then the rain falls, it dries up, you get that dust. The Eco Wash is the perfect product to use, okay? If you have a lot of road film, if you've been driving a lot in the rain, especially highway city driving, the Eco Wash may not be for you, or you may want to pre-spray with like an APC or something like that, okay? If you have an uncoated car, Eco Wash may not be for you, but on a coated car, it glides across. It's really good. On the sponge, it feels really good. Even on an uncoated car, if you use a sponge, in fact, with the Eco Wash, I would recommend using a sponge over the microfiber. Just my, my deal here based on what the scoring shows, what the testing shows, everything else. 256-1 with a sponge is what I would use it at. All right, guys, I'm sorry it's such a long video. I kept trying to shorten it, but whatever. So that is the review, my score sheet for the Owner's Pride, the Eco Wash. I found that at 1 to 256, it works a lot better. I like, the slickness, everything else. The cleaning ability at 1 to 256 is just much better to me. Now it has an amazing scent, okay? Amazing scent. I love it a lot. And I mentioned that what I found would make you laugh, okay? Because when I smell this, it actually smells like another product that I, for some reason, maybe I'm weird, but if you get these nighttime cough and cold products, okay, in the, what is this, mixed berry flavor, when I opened this, I knew that I had smelled it, whatever it was. I'm like, I have something around here that smells just like it. Well, it's this stuff. The nighttime sleeping, coffee, whatever it is, multi-symptom relief, severe cold and flu stuff, okay? This smells so much like this, or maybe it's this smells so much like this. I'm not gonna drink this though, no worries. So anyway, as I mentioned earlier, no affiliate link, no discount code. Go to their email, sign up for their email list. They'll send you a discount code. Hopefully they still do that, free signing up for it for your first order. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and Owner's Pride Eco Wash, give it a shot. I will talk to you. Oh, and give their customer service a shot too, guys, okay? Till the next time, I will talk to you later. Bye.